Straight ahead on CCX News, a push by Osseo schools to increase teacher diversity. We'll show you how. Plus, the Super Bowl impact from this year.
It's one of our biggest days.
To next, when the Super Bowl will be played closer to home.
The eyes as a nation and even worldwide are on this area.
CCX News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. This weekend, all eyes are on Texas for Super Bowl 51, but this time next year, everyone will be watching Minnesota host the Super Bowl.
Local businesses are starting preparations now for the big game. Reporter Shannon Slatton explains why the countdown begins this weekend.
This weekend, you can download a countdown clock that lets you know exactly how long it is until kickoff of Super Bowl 2018.
It's really starting to feel real.
But for people like Tara Halen, who is the director of sales for 3 area hotels, the countdown clock has already started.
Once in a lifetime opportunity, we feel like, and really we want to introduce Minnesota and the Twin Cities area to everyone coming to town.
This Holiday Inn Express just had a $6 million renovation, and they expect to be full weeks before the game, just like many other suburban hotels.
They really required 19,000 rooms as part of the base commitment from a community. For a little perspective, Minneapolis has about 5,000 rooms. So you can see that the osmosis effect is really strong.
Discover St. Louis Park's Becky Bakken says even though the focus is on U.S. Bank Stadium, first-ring suburbs stand to profit from the game.
We'd like to encourage people to stick around for a few days after. We think that's the catch for us.
But communities hope the Super Bowl boom expands beyond hotels and restaurants to places like here at Brookview.
We are the North, the bold North.
So Discover St. Louis Park, which now promotes Golden Valley, is joining in the push to feature Minnesota in winter.
Super Bowl is in February, so you have to market what you have.
That means cities can show off assets close to home, like Brookview's Fat Tire Biking and winter sports at surrounding parks.
There's a lot to offer in this state, even when you think about, northern Minnesota and things like that. So the push is really to have communities think about what their unique assets and what they have to offer. Share them, though, at the statewide level.
In Golden Valley, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
You can expect to see commercials promoting Minnesota in this year's Super Bowl, plus more events as the 52-week countdown begins. And you can download the countdown clock on mnsuperbowl.com.
Well, what do New Year's Eve, Thanksgiving, and Super Bowl Sunday have in common? Well, a similar number of drunken driver arrests per hour in Minnesota. All three average close to 4 DWI arrests per hour. According to the Minnesota Department of Public Safety, drunken driving-related crashes are a leading cause of traffic deaths in the state.
An organization that has helped coordinate social services in the Northwest Metro for 45 years will be closing its doors. The Northwest Hennepin Human Services Council will end operations because of unsustainable funding. One of the most visible events that the group helped organize every year is the Senior Forum, which connected seniors with resources. This year's event is still planned for March 29th. The group also helps cities gather data on issues like homelessness and early childhood development. But Brooklyn Center City Manager Kurt Boganese says how that work is done has changed.
Over the years, I think cities started to find that either they grew to the point where they had their own internal staff that could carry out some of the research and some of the planning efforts. With the advent of the internet, there's a lot more data and a lot more information, a lot more resources that are at the fingertips of individuals.
Boganese says after the county decided to pull funding and move some of that work in-house, the cost was just too high for local cities to sustain. The board will decide which programs, such as the Senior Forum, may be continued.
In Maple Grove, the City Council on Monday is expected to consider plans to redevelop a former IHOP restaurant. The developer is proposing to turn the IHOP off Weaver Lake Road into a self-storage facility called Spacebox. The City Council has already tabled the proposal twice. Some Maple Grove residents have had concerns about the building's size and height. The new building is proposed to be 4 stories tall.
The Osseo School District is teaming up with Metropolitan State University in hopes of recruiting and retaining a diverse workforce. Currently, only 8% of staff are people of color in the Osseo District, and that number is only about 5% for teachers. The district hopes the partnership will increase those numbers. Metropolitan State graduates who get an urban education degree will be given preferential consideration for teaching positions.
Studies clearly show that students of color do better when they have role models whom they trust and who they admire, and people who look like them, so they can see what their future could look like.
The Osseo District and Metro State are part of a new coalition whose goal is to double the number of teachers of color in the state by the year 2020.
Robbinsdale area schools, meanwhile, are projecting enrollment decreases. According to a report presented to the school board, the report shows enrollment will decrease slightly through the year 2020 at the elementary and high school levels, while at the middle school level, enrollment is expected to increase. In fact, according to school officials, middle school enrollment is the highest it's been in a decade. Enrollment projections help determine the budget and properly staff schools.
For many households with lower incomes, tax season is a crucial time of year to regain some financial stability.
It is a time to boost their income. If you're eligible for tax credits, you might bring back up to 50% of the income that you make. People use those dollars to meet basic needs, to pay down debt, and to save for the future or an unexpected emergency.
Free tax preparation help is underway through Saturday evening at the Taxathon event in St. Paul. It's offered through the nonprofit Prepare and Prosper and in partnership with the United Way. 100 IRS certified volunteers are on hand for the next 24 hours to offer free tax help to families making less than $55,000 a year. Volunteer and Prudential employee Andrea Kessler of Golden Valley knows that her expertise makes a difference.
They come here rather than going somewhere else and paying to have their taxes prepared, so it saves them money. And if they didn't do their taxes here, they might not have gotten the refund. It's tricky to do your own taxes.
For free tax preparation sites near you, you can call United Way 211 or visit prepareandprosper.org. Coming up, the real Super Bowl MVP for millions of hungry fans.
And then later in sports, Wayzata and Edina renew their rivalry in a good boys hockey matchup.
But first, a cloudy weekend, but temperatures do warm up. We'll be right back.
A reminder that the City of Lake's Loppet Ski Festival is this weekend at Worth Park. The event will impact some Golden Valley streets, and look for some closures tonight, Saturday, and Sunday on Theodore Worth Parkway between Golden Valley Road and Highway 55. The Loppet expects to draw up to 50,000 spectators and participants. Millions of Americans will tune in this weekend to watch Super Bowl 51, and it wouldn't really be Super Bowl Sunday without the food.
Everybody has their favorite game day snack, but there is one that soars above the rest, and that's chicken wings. As Delane Cleveland reports, experts predict Americans to consume a record number of wings this weekend.
On this weekend of the big game, local grocery stores have their specials on display. Of course, you have staples like chips and hot dogs, but when it comes to Super Bowl Sunday, the National Chicken Council says people will eat a plethora of poultry. Americans are expected to eat about 1.33 billion chicken wings on Super Bowl Sunday. Let's say the viewership is about 111 million like it was last year. That means every one of those viewers will have to eat about 12 wings to get to that number. The number of wings consumed by hungry football fans has grown over the last 3 years, but experts say only a quarter of the wings eaten this weekend will come from the grocery store. The rest of those wings will come from restaurants like Buffalo Wild Wings.
It's one of our biggest days for both my location and for the company.
General Manager Matt Wheeler says on Sunday they expect to sell about 20,000 wings at the Crystal location.
Wings are so popular because they're easy, they're tasty. There's so many different ways it can be prepared with the different sauces that are available.
And why not? With 15 sauces available and 5 dry rubs, there's a little something for everyone. For Wheeler and his staff, it's almost like a national holiday.
We prepare for 4 or 5 months in advance for this day, so it's a really big day for us.
In fact, Super Bowl Sunday ranks right up there with the beginning of March Madness in terms of sales and customer traffic. Wheeler expects the restaurant to be packed and a slew of takeout activity before kickoff.
Our takeout area will add 4 to 5 more people on just to deal with the influx of business walking through the doors.
A telltale sign that America's biggest sporting event comes with a hearty appetite for the flavorful fowl.
Great wings, cold beer. It's a formula for a great day.
In Crystal, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Still ahead, from the gridiron to the gallery, we will check out a new art exhibit in Robbinsdale.
But first, it's another close one as Armstrong battles Park Center in boys basketball. John Jacobson has that and more coming up next.
Nice for Miller, dumping it. I'm John Jacobson with sports. The Armstrong boys basketball team is on a roll. While Park Center started very strong, but they've lost a few games lately. Pirates hoping to snap a 3-game losing streak as they visited Armstrong. Race Thompson pops a 3-pointer for the Falcons for a 7-3 lead. He scores 15 in the first half, 25 on the night. Losini Kamara steals the pass for Park Center and takes it in for 2 of his 12 points. The Pirates overcome a slow start. A nice backdoor as Isaiah Miller finds Ben Inniger. Inniger provides a spark with 12 points off the bench. But Park Center surges into the lead. Harry Broadway drives, scores, plus a foul. The Pirates go up by 7 and lead 39-36 at halftime. Second half, Kamara with the assist to freshman Dane Danger, who leads PC with 13 in his first varsity start. Thompson delivers a great one-hand touch pass to Calvin Green for a 3. Armstrong goes up by a point. Devontae Saeed L nails a 3 to give Armstrong the lead for good. And stays close all the way, but the Falcons get the season sweep of Park Center 70-65. With so many good boys basketball teams in the area this winter, there are plenty of great matchups to bring you. This one really stands out. Monday night on CCX Sports, we'll bring you a matchup of the top 2 teams in the state in Class 4A basketball. Number 1 Champlin Park visits number 2 Maple Grove in the team's first and only meeting of the regular season. Champlin Park enters Friday night with a 16-0 record and leads the North Division of the Northwest Suburban Conference by a whopping 4 games. They're averaging 89 points per contest. Maple Grove is 14-1 coming into Friday night and can move back into a tie with Armstrong for first in the West Division with the win on Friday. It'll be a packed house at Maple Grove Monday. You can watch the game live on CCX Sports channels 12 and 799 and online at ccxmedia.org. In boys hockey, it's been a struggle this season for the defending state champions from Wayzata. The Trojans were coming off a tie against a very good Hail Murray team and hoped that would carry over to Thursday night when the Trojans hosted Lake Conference rival Edina. Edina scores just over 2 minutes in. Sam Walker skating in front to score for the Hornets. Second period, and the Trojans draw even. Ryan Morena in the first shot. Number 4, Joel Matthews scores on the rebound, and it's 1-1. Edina goes back in front. Ben Brinkman's point shot finds its way in for a 2-1 lead. Wayzata goalie Reed Waschenko is excellent in the third period, but his teammates can't get the equalizer. He finishes with 22 saves, but Edina wins the game 3-1. The Champlin Park Gymnastics team is ranked in the top 10 in Class AA. Rebels faced another good Northwest Suburban Conference team Thursday. They met Anoka on Parents' Night at Champlin Park. Cheney New, one of the state's top gymnasts, she flips her way to a score of 9.6 on the vault, tops for the Rebels. Liz Hammond has been a state qualifier in the vault. Rebels senior scores a 9.425 in this meet. The top score, though, goes to Anoka's Hannah Tumala. He sticks her landing and earns a score of 9.65 to win the event. The Tornadoes Junior earns her team's best score on the uneven bars as well. A good routine here for Tumala. Her score a 9.2 for Anoka. New's routine is of state meet quality. Near perfect giant swings for the Rebels' 8th grader. She lands with a score of 9.575 to win the bars. To the balance beam, Champlin Park's Emma Perkins scores an 8.65, second to new, but Anoka edges the Rebels 143.1 to 141.4. The Breck Blake boys swimming team is ranked second in the state in Class A. The Bear Stangs hosted one of the state's Class AA teams, Eden Prairie, in a dual meet Thursday. 200 medley relay. Anchor Jordan Greenberg of EP beats Breck Blake and anchor swimmer Dylan Brown by 1/100th of a second, 141.16 the winning time. 200 freestyle race also close. Joshua Withers takes it for the Eagles in 149.13. Luke Hamlin second for Breck Blake. 200 IM, Eden Prairie's Austin Pham wins big in a time of 2:02.99. And in the 50 free, Greenberg takes gold for the Eagles with a swim of 22.56 seconds. They win the meet over the Bear Stangs 64-38. That's it for sports. Mike and Alex, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, John. We'll be right back.
Well, finally, we check out a new exhibit at the Robin Gallery that takes a look at one of the simple building blocks of life.
And Neil Persley takes a look in today's Weekend Showcase.
Its composition is simple. Just 2 hydrogen atoms held by covalent bonds to 1 oxygen atom make up a single molecule of water, and yet this element is crucial to life. Water is the unifying theme behind the exhibition entitled Land, Water, Life. Husband and wife duo of Peter Truran and Sylvia Horwitz team up in a show featuring the photography of Sylvia, documenting the protests of the Dakota pipeline around water issues, and the drawings and paintings of Peter, fascinated from a young age by moving water.
Started off by doing some drawings of waterfalls in Wales. The challenges of that really made me want to draw and paint the waterfalls in northern Minnesota on the North Shore. And then when Sylvia got involved in this project with the pipeline, I went down there with her and decided to do some paintings of the water there.
Sylvia visited the encampment at Standing Rock, North Dakota last fall, where she heard protesters voice a concern.
There was risk of a leak in the Missouri River, which would contaminate the drinking water, not only for the Sioux Reservation, but for the communities downstream. Tried to convey in my photographs this a sense of the beauty of the place and the humanity that I felt. Peter was working on waterfalls and his on the North Shore and streams, and it seemed to just fit.
From the Robin Gallery in Robbinsdale for Weekend Showcase, I'm Neil Persley, CCX News.
Land, Water, Life will be on display in the Robin Gallery through February 25th, and the artists will present every Thursday evening from 5 to 8 to discuss their exhibit. That does it for us. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you at 4 on Monday.